Beep beep. Hey, Gormancast. How are you doing, man? Hope you're doing good. I'm just playing in some music while waiting for Nodrik to join us, so we just don't only have one voice in here. Wonder if I should try to sing you something silly while I'm all by myself. I just don't know how to sing though, so it may sound like crap. Let's try to sing one of my poems out of silliness. Something short. Something in French. Something in French. Oh no, I know actually which one I'm gonna read. Maybe you could read at the same time. Yeah, exactly. It's what I want to try. Playing guitar and singing at the same time. But can I do it actually? Am I capable of doing it? Because I don't even consider myself a really, like truly being playing guitar. Just like an adept of, of having fun. I'm gonna try one, a simple one that I have here. Let's see. Such hardship. Let's see. I'm gonna try this one. So, just for the heck of it, if I sound terrible, don't over laugh at me. Don't abandon me. Oh, look at that. Nodrik is here. She's saving me. I don't have to sing anymore. Where is cute Nodrik? And my headset. There we go. With her wet hair. Hey,
Oh shit, sorry.
Oh. How are you doing?
Is it better?
It's always better. Well, I was gonna sing a song, but now that you're here, I just think we should read the book. If that's okay.
Are we live?
Okay.
Oh, Gorman Cast is here.
Yeah. I was teasing him with a little bit of music.
Oh.
Right, here we go. Let's go. Truly live in. Well, here we go. Look at Nodrik, how pretty she is, with her wet hair dangling off her head.
I'm sorry, I was finally let out to go and pick up my ambers.
So you jumped into sea and you came back all wet.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it went down. I'm so happy to see your face.
So much happiness.
Yeah, I'm radiating. I was in trees today, in woods and sea. Everybody in masks, but still, I can. If somebody lets me go to the forests, it doesn't matter. I can wear a Bane mask or a Predator mask or
That's funny.
anything just to be in the forest.
That's funny.
Are we black and white or color?
Mm.
Oh.
Would you like to be in black and white?
I don't care.
Oh, ma'am would like to be in black and white. Let's give you what you want. Ba-bam.
Gorman gas. Calls me siren again.
Would you like me to read the first chapter? Or sure. Well, perhaps I should explain what we're gonna be reading first. So, we're gonna be reading a book that's called Flowers for Algernon. I don't expect us to finish the reading tonight, but we can already start. So it's written by Daniel Keyes, and yeah, it's a good book. I hope you'll enjoy it. And I hope that you won't mind too much our accents because the both of us have pretty thick accents, I would say. Excellent accents.
It fits the book.
It does. It does.
I can read the first chapter because it's short.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Progress report 1, March 3. Dr. Strauss says I should write down what I think and remember and everything that happens to me from now on. I don't know why, but he says it's important so they will see if they can use me. I hope they use me because Miss Kinina says maybe they can make me smart. I want to be smart. My name is Charlie Gordon. I work in Dorman's bakery where Mr. Dorman gives me $11 a week and bread or cake if I want. I'm 32 years old and next month is my birthday. I told Dr. Strauss and Professor Neumann I can read good, but he says it don't matter. He says I should read just like I talk and like I read compositions in Miss Kunyan's class at the Beekman College Center for Retarded Adults, where I go to learn 3 times a week on my time off. Dr. Strauss says to write a lot everything I think and everything that happens to me, but I can't think anymore because I have nothing to read, so I will close for today. Yours truly, Charlie Gordon.
That was pretty funny, actually. I liked it. I liked it. It's pretty hard to keep serious with this reading. Okay, my turn. Progress report, March 4th. I had a test today. I think I failed, and I think maybe they won't use me. What happened is I went to Professor Nummer office on my lunchtime, like they said, and his secretary took me to a place that said Psych Depth on the door with a long hall and a lot of little rooms with only a desk and chairs. And a nice man was in one of the rooms, and he had some white cards with ink spilled all over them. He said, "Sit down, Charlie, and make yourself comfortable and relax." He had a white coat like a doctor, but I don't think he was no doctor because he didn't tell me to open my mouth and say ah. All he had was those white cards. His name is Bert. I forget his last name because I don't remember so good. I didn't know what he was gonna do, and I was holding on tight to the chair like sometimes when I go to the dentist. Only Bert ain't no dentist neither. But he kept telling me to relax, and that gets me scared because it always means it's gonna hurt. So Bert said, "Charlie, what do you see on this card?" I saw the spilled ink and I was very scared, even though I got my rabbit foot in my pocket, because when I was a kid, I always felt taste tests. I always felt tests in school and I spilled ink too. I told Bert I saw ink spilled on a white card. Bert said, "Yes," and he smiled, and that made me feel good. He kept turning all the cards, and I told him somebody spilled ink on all of them, red and black. I thought that was an easy test, but when I got up to go, Bert stopped me and said, "No, sit down, Charlie. We are not through yet. There's more we gotta do with these cards." I didn't understand about it, but I remembered Dr. Strauss said, "Do anything the tester tells me, even if I don't make no sense, because that's testing." I don't remember so good what Bird said, but I remember he wanted me to say what was in the ink. I didn't see nothing in the ink, but Bird said there was pictures there. I couldn't see no pictures. I really tried to see. I holded the card up close and then far away. Then I said, if I had my eyeglasses, I could barely see better. I usually only wear my eyeglasses in the movie or to watch TV, but I said maybe they will help me see the pictures in the ink. I put them on and I said, "No, let me see the cards again. I better find it now." I tried hard, but I still couldn't find the pictures. I only saw the ink. I told Bert maybe I need new glasses. He wrote something down on a paper, and I got scared of failing the test. So I told him it was a very nice picture of ink with pretty point all around the edges. But he shook his head, so that wasn't it either neither. I asked him if other people saw things in the ink, and he said yes, they imagined pictures in the ink blot. He told me the ink on the card was called ink blot. Bert is very nice, and he tasks slow like Miss Kinman does in her class where I go to learn reading for slow adults. He explained it to me that it was a shock test, a raw shock test. He said people see things in the ink. I said, "Show me where." He didn't show me. He just kept saying, "Think, imagine. There's something on the card." I told him, "I imagine a ink blot." He shook his head, so that wasn't right either. He said, "What does it remind you of? Pretend it's something." I closed my eyes for so long to pretend, and then I said, "I pretend a bottle of ink spilled all over a white card." And that's when the point of his pencil broke, and then we got up and went out. I don't think I passed the raw shock test.
Oh.
Oh.
Third progress report, March 5. Dr. Strauss and Professor Neumann say I don't matter about the ink on the cards. I told them I did not spill the ink on them and I couldn't see anything in the ink. They said maybe they will still use me. I told Dr. Strauss that Miss Keenan never gave me tests like that, only writing and reading. He said Miss Keenan told him I was her bestest pupil in the Bigman School for Retarded Adults, and I tried the hardest because I really wanted to learn and wanted it more even than people who are smarter even than me. Dr. Strauss, asked me, "How come you went to the big one school all by yourself, Charlie? How did you find out about it?" I said, "I don't remember." Professor Newmore said, "But why did you want to learn to read and spell in the first place?" I told him because all my life I wanted to be smart and not dumb. And my mom always told me to try and learn just like Miss Kinyan tells me. But it's very hard to be smart. And even when I learned something, Miss Kinyan's class at the school, I forget it a lot. Dr. Strauss wrote some things on a piece of paper, and Professor Nur talked to me very serious. He said, "You know, Charlie, we are not sure how this experiment will work on people because we only tried it up to now on animals." I said that what Miss Kinyan told me, but I don't even care if it hurts or anything because I'm strong and I will work hard. I want to get smart if they will let me. They said they got to get permission from my family. But my uncle Herman, who used to take care of me, is dead, and I don't remember about my family. I didn't see my mother or father or my little sister Nora for a long, long, long time. Maybe they're dead too. Dr. Strauss asked me where they used to live. Well, I think in Brooklyn. He said they will see if maybe they can find them. I hope I hope I don't have to read too much of these progress reports because it takes a long time and I get to sleep very late and I'm tired at work and in the morning Gimpy hollered at me because I dropped a tray full of rolls I was carrying over to the oven. They got dirty, and he had to wipe them off before he put them into bake. Gimpy hollers at me all the time when I do something wrong, but he really likes me because he's my friend. Boy, if I get smart, won't he be surprised?
Progress Report 4, March 6th. I had more crazy tests today in case they use me. That same place, but a different little testing room. The nice lady who gave it to me told me the name, and I asked her, "How do you spell it?" so I can put it down right in my progress report. Thematic apperception test. I don't know the first two words, but I know what test means. You got to pass it or you get bad marks. This test looked easy because I could see the picture. Only this time she didn't want me to tell what I saw in the picture. That mixed me up. I told her yesterday Bert said I should tell what I saw in the ink. She said that don't make a difference because this test is something else. Now you got to make up stories about the people in the pictures. I said, how can I tell stories about people I don't know? She said, make believe. But I told her that's lies. I never tell lies anymore because when I was a kid I made up lies and I always got hit. I got a picture in my wallet of me and Norma with Uncle Herman who got me to the job to be a janitor at Dormer Bakery before he died. I said I could make stories about them because I lived with Uncle Herman a long time ago, but the lady didn't want to hear about them. She said this test and the other one, the raw shock, was forgetting personality. I laughed. I told her, how can you get that thing from cards that somebody spilled ink on and photos of people you don't even know? She looked angry and took the pictures away. I don't care. I guess I failed that test too. Then I drawed some pictures for her, but I don't draw so good. Later, the other tester, Bert, in the white coat, came back. His name is Bert Selden, and he took me to a different place on the same fourth floor in the Beckman University that said Psychology Laboratory on the door, but said psychology means mind and laboratory means a place where they make spearmints. Spearmints. I thought he meant like where they made the chewing gum, but now I think it's puzzles and games because that's what we did. I couldn't work with the puzzle so good because it was all broke and the pieces couldn't fit in the holes. One game was a paper with lines in all directions and lots of boxes. And on one side it said start and on the other it said end, finish. He told me that game was amazed and I should take the pencil and go from where it said start to where it said finish without crossing over any of the lines. I didn't understand the amazed and we used up a lot of papers. Then Bert said, look, I'll show you something. Let's go to the experimental lab. Maybe you'll get the idea. We went up to the fifth floor to another room with loads of cages and animals. They had monkeys and mooses. It had a funny smell like old garbage. And there was other people in white coats playing with the animals. So I thought it was like a pet store. But there wasn't no customers. Bert took a white mouse out of a cage and showed it to me. Bert said, that's Algernon, and he can do this amazed very good. I told him, you show me how he does that. Well, do you know, he put Algernon in a box like a big table with a lot of twists and turns like all kinds of walls and a start and finish like the paper had. Only there was a screen over the big table and Bert took out his clock and lifted up a sliding door and said, let's go, Algernon. And the mouse sniffed 2 or 3 times and started to run. First he ran down along one long row, and then, when he saw he couldn't go no more, he came back where he started from, and he just stood there a minute wiggling his whiskers. Then he went off in the other direction and started to run again. It was just like he was doing the same thing Bert wanted me to do with the lines on the paper. I was laughing because I thought it was going to be a hard thing for a mouse to do. But then Algernon kept going all the way through that thing all the right ways till he came out where it said finished. And he made a squeak. Bird says that means he was happy because he did the right thing. Boy, I said, that's a smart mouse. Bird said, would you like to race against Algernon? I said, sure. And he said he had a different kind of mace, made of wood with raw scratched in it and an electric stick like a pencil. And he could fix up Algernon a maze to be the same like that one so we could both be doing the same kind. He moved all the boards around on Algernon table because they come apart and he could put them together in different ways. And then he put the screen back on top so Algernon wouldn't jump over any row to get to the finish. Then he gave me the electric stick and showed me how to put it in between the rows. And I'm not supposed to lift it off the board. Just follow the little scratches until the pencil can't move anymore, or I get a little shock. He took out his clock and he was trying to hide it. So I tried not to look at him, and that made me very nervous. When he said, go, I tried to go, but I didn't know where to go. I didn't know the way to take. Then I heard Algernon squeaking from the box on the table and his feet scratching like he was running already. I started to go, but I went in the wrong way and got stuck and a little shock in my finger. So I went back to the start, but every time I went on a different way, I got stuck and a shock. It didn't hurt or anything, but made me jump a little, and Bird said it was to show me I did the wrong thing. I was halfway on the board when I heard Algernon squeak like he was happy again, and that means he won the race. And the other 10 times we did it over, Algernon won every time because I couldn't find the right rows to get to where it says finish. I didn't feel bad because I watched Algernon and I learned how to finish the maze even if it takes me a long time. I didn't know mice were so smart. That was pretty. I have a little tear in the eye.
Yeah. Left you some comments. In the chat. Progress report 5, March 6. They found my sister Norma, who lives with my brother in Brooklyn, and she gave permission for the operation. So they are going to use me. I'm so excited. I can hardly write it down. But then Professor Nimur and Dr. Strauss had an argument about it first. I was sitting in Professor Newman's office when Dr. Strauss and Bert Selden came in. Professor Nimur was worried about using me, but Dr. Strauss told him I looked like the best one they tested so far. Bert told him Miss Kenyan recommended me the best from all the people who she was teaching at the Center for Retarded Adults, where I go. Dr. Strauss said I had something that was very, very good. He said I had a good motor variation. I never even knowed I had that. I felt good when he said not everybody with an IQ of 68 had that thing like I had it. I don't know what it is or where I got it, but he said Algernon had it too. Algernon's motivation is the cheese they put in the box, but it can't be only that because I didn't have no cheese this week. Professor Nimur was worried about my IQ getting too high from mine that was too low and I would get sick from it. And Dr. Strauss told Professor Nimur something I didn't understand, so while they was talking, I wrote down some of the words in my notebook for keeping my progress reports. He said, Harold, that's Professor Nimur's first name. I know, Charlie, is not what you had in mind as the first of you new breed of intellect could get the word Superman.
Are you okay, Nodrik? I think you froze. Okay, I think our friend just froze. Gonna send her a message. See how she's doing. And I guess I'll play you guys a little bit of music. If there you are. There you
I'm
go.
so sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
What, where did I finish? Because I was going on to read it.
Well,
Like I
you
was.
finished pretty abruptly. Read me one of the sentence you've read like 30 seconds ago. Go back a little
Okay,
bit, because yeah.
okay. I did not get all the words and they were talking too fast, but it sounded like Dr. Strauss and Bert was on my side and Professor Newmer was not. Bert kept saying, Ali Skinnian feels he has an overwhelming desire to learn. He actually begged to be used.
Yeah.
And that's true because wanted to be smart. Dr. Strauss got up and walked around and said, if I say we use Charlie, and Bert nodded, Professor Newmar scratched his head and rubbed his nose with his thumb and said, maybe you're right. We will use Charlie, but we have got to make him understand that a lot of things can go wrong with this experiment. Then he said that I got so happy and excited and jumped up and shook his hand for being so good to me. I think he got scared when I did that. He said, Charlie, we worked on this for a long time, but only on animals like Algernon. We are sure there's no official danger for you, but there are other things we can't tell you until we are tried. I want you to understand this. Might fail and then nothing would happen at all, or it might even succeed temporarily and leave you worse off than you are right now. Do you understand what that means? If that happens, we will have to send you back to Warren State Home to live. I said, I did not care because I ain't afraid of nothing. I'm very strong and I always do good. And beside, I got my lucky rabbit's foot and never breaked a mirror in my life. I dropped some dishes once, but they don't count for bad luck. Then Dr. Strauss said, Charlie, even when this fails, you're making a great contribution to science. This experiment has been successful on lots of animals, but it's never been tried on a human being. You will be the first. I told him, thanks, Doc. Don't be sorry for giving me a second chance, like Miss Kenyon says. And I mean, I told them after the operation, I'm gonna try to be smart. I'm gonna try awful hard.
Mm. Okay. Progress report. 6th March 8th. I'm scared. Loads of people who work at the college and the people at the medical school came to wish me luck. Bert, the tester, brought me some flowers. He said they were from the people at the psych department. He wished me luck. I hope I have luck. I got my rabbit foot and my lucky penny and my horseshoe. Dr. Strauss said, "Don't be so superstitious, Charlie. This is science." I don't know what science is, but they all keep saying science is. But they all keep saying it, so maybe it's something that helps you have good luck. Anyway, I'm keeping my rabbit foot in one hand and my lucky penny in the other hand, with the hole in it. The penny, I mean. I wish I could take the horseshoe with me, but it's heavy, so I'll just leave it in my jacket. Joe Carp from the bakery brought me a chocolate cake from Mr. Donner, and the folks at the bakery, and they hope I get better soon. At the bakery, they think I'm sick because that's what Professor Nemmer said I should tell them, and nothing about an operation for getting smart. That's a secret until after, in case it don't work or something goes wrong. Then Miss Kenyon came to see me, and she brought me some magazines to read, and she looked kind of nervous and scared. She fixed up the flowers on my table and put everything nice and neat, not messed up like I made it. And she fixed the pillow under my head. She likes me a lot because I try very hard to turn everything, not like some of the people at the adult center who don't really care. She wants me to get smart, I know. Then Professor Nemmer said I can't have any more visitors because I got to rest. I asked Professor Nemmer if I could beat Algernon in the race after the operation, and he said maybe. If the operation works good, I'll show that mouse I can be as smart as he is, even smarter. Then I'll be able to read better and spell the words good and know loads of things and be like other people. Boy, that would surprise everyone. If the operation works and I get smart, maybe I'll be able to find my mom and dad and sister and show them. Boy, would they be surprised to see me smart, just like them and my sister. Professor Nemmer says if it works good and it's permanent, they will make other people like me smart also. Maybe people all over the world. And he said that means I'm doing something great for science. And I'll be famous. And I'm and my name will go down in the books. I don't care so much about being famous. I just want to be smart like other people so I can have loads of friends who like me. They didn't give me anything to eat today. I don't know what eating got to do with getting smart, and I'm hungry. Professor Nemmer took away my chocolate cake. That Professor Nemmer is a grouch. Dr. Strauss says I can't have it back after the operation. You can't eat before an operation, not even cheese.
Mm. Progress Report 7, March 11. The operation didn't hurt. Dr. Strauss did it while I was sleeping. I don't know how because I did not see, but there was bandages on my eyes and my head for 3 days. So I couldn't make no progress report till today. The skinny nurse who watched me writing says I spelled progress wrong and she told me how to spell it. And report 2 and March, I got to remember that. I have a very bad memory for spelling. Anyway, they took off the bandages from my eyes today so I can make a progress report now. But there is still some bandages on my head. I was scared when they came in and told me it was time to go for an operation. They made me get out of the bed and on another bed that has wheels on it. And they rolled me out of the room and down the hall to the door that says surgery. Boy, was I surprised that it was a big room with green walls and lots of doctors sitting around up high all around the room watching the operation. I didn't was going on to be like a show. A man came up to the table and all in white and with white clothes on his face, like in TV shows, and rubber gloves and said, "Relax, Charlie, it's me, Dr. Strauss." I said, "Hi, I'm scared." He said, "There is nothing to be scared about, Charlie." He said, "You will just go to sleep." I said, "That's what I'm scared about." He patted my head and then two other men wearing white masks too came and strapped my arms and legs down so I couldn't move them, and that made me very scared. And my stomach felt tired, like I was going to make all over, but I did not, only wet a little. And I was going to cry, but they put a rubber thing on my face for me to breathe, and it smelled funny. All the time I heard Dr. Strauss talking out loud about the operation, telling everybody that he was gonna do it. But I did not understand anything about it, and I was thinking maybe after the operation I will be smart and I will understand all the things he's talking about. So I breathed deep and then I guess I was very tired because I went to sleep. When I woke up, I was back in my bed and it was very dark. I couldn't see nothing, but I heard some talking. It was the nurse and Bird, and I said, "What's the matter? Why don't you put on the lights? And when are they gonna operate?" And they laughed, and Bert said, "Charlie, it's over. And it's dark because you got bandages over your eyes." It's a funny thing. They did it while I was sleeping. Bert comes in to see me every day to write down all the things like my temperature and my blood pressure and the other things about me. He says it's on account of scientific method. They go to keep records about what happens so they can do it again when they want to. Not to me, but to other people like me who aren't smart. This is why I got to do these progress, progress reports. Board says it's part of the experiment and they will make utastas of the reports to study them so they will know what is going on in my mind. I don't see how they will know what is going on in my mind by looking at these reports. I read them over and over a lot of times to see what I wrote, and I don't know what's going on in my mind. So how are they going to know what's going on? But anyway, that's science, and I go to try to be smart like other people. Then, when I'm smart, they will talk to me, and I can sit with them and listen like Jokar and Frank and Gimpy do when they talk and have a discussion about important things. While they're working, they start talking about things like about God and about the trouble with all the money and the president is spending, or about the Republicans or Democrats, and they get all excited like they're gonna to have a fight. So Mr. Donner got to come and tell them to get back to biking, or they will all get a canned union or no union. I want to talk about things like that. If you're smart, you can have lots of friends to talk to, and you never get lonely by yourself all the time. Oh. Professor Nemo says it's okay to tell about all the things that happened to me in the progress report. But he said, I should write more about what I feel and what I think and remember about the past. I told him, I don't know how to think or remember. And he said, just try it. All the time he bandages were on my eyes, I tried to think and remember, but nothing happened. I don't know what to think or remember about. Maybe if I ask him, he will tell me how I can think and how that I supposed to get smart. What do smart people think about or remember? Fancy things about. I wish I knew some fancy things already. Further is March 12th. No progress report.
Oh, okay, wait. I think I skipped you. So you just read report 7, right?
Uh, yeah, I read March 11th,
Yeah.
and now it's March 12th. But he
Oh, yeah.
didn't write the word report in it.
Perfect. March 12th. I don't have to write progress report on top every day. Just when I start a new patch after Professor Nemmer takes the old ones away. I just have to put the date on top. That saves time. It's a good idea. I can sit up in the bed and look out the window at the grass and trees outside. The skinny nurse's name is Hilda, and she's very good to me. She brings me things to eat and she fixes my bed and she says I was a very brave man to let them do things to my head. She says she would never let them do things to her brains for all the tea in China. I told her it wasn't for tea in China, it was to make me smart. And she said, maybe they got no right to make me smart, because if God wanted me to be smart, He would have made me born smart. And what about Adam and Eve and the sin with the trees of knowledge and eating the apple and the fall, and maybe Professor Nemmer and Dr. Strauss was tampering with things they got no right to tamper with. She's very skinny, and when she talks her faces get all red. She says maybe I better pray to God and ask Him to forgive what they done to me. I didn't eat no apple or nothing sinful, and now I'm scared. Maybe I shouldn't have let them operate on my brains like she said, if it's against God. I don't want to make God angry.
Yeah. March 13th. March 13th. They changed my nurse today. This one is pretty. Her name is Lucille. She showed me how to spell it for my progress report. And she got yellow hair and blue eyes. I asked her, where was Hilda? And she said Hilda wasn't working in that part of the hospital no more. Only in the maternity ward by the babies, where it don't matter if she talks too much. When I asked her about what was maternity, she said it's about having babies. But when I asked her how they have them, she got red in the face and just the same like Hilda. And she said she got to take somebody's temperature. Nobody ever tells me about the babies. Maybe if this thing works and I get smart, I will find out. Miss Kenyon came to see me today and she said, Charlie, you look wonderful. I told her, I feel fine, but I don't feel smart yet. I thought that when the operation was over and they took the bandages off my eyes, I would be smart. And no, a lot of things. So I could read and talk about important things like everybody else. She said, that's not the way it works, Charlie. It comes slowly, and you have to work very hard to get smart. I did not know that. If I got to work hard anyway, what did I have to have the operation for? She said she wasn't sure, but the operation was to make it so that when I did work hard to get smart, it would stick with me and not be like it was before when it did not stick. So good. Well, I told her that made me kind of feel bad because I thought I was going to be smart right away and could go back to show the guys at the bakery how smart I am and talk with them about things and maybe even get to be an assistant bank. Then I was going to try and find my mom and dad. They would be surprised to see how smart I got because my mom always wanted me to be smart. Maybe they wouldn't send me away no more if they see how smart I am. I told Miss Kenyon I would try hard to be smart, as hard as I can. She patted my hand and said, I know you will. I have faith in you, Charlie.
Progress Report 8, March 15. I'm out of the hospital, but not back at work yet. Nothing is happening. I had loads of tests and different kind of races with Algernon. I hate that mouse. He always beats me. Professor Nemmer says I got to play those games and I got to take those tests over and over again. Those amazes are stupid. And those pictures are stupid too. I like to draw the picture of a man and woman, but I won't make up lies about people. And I can't do the puzzle good. I get headaches from trying to think and remember so much. Dr. Strauss promised he was going to help me, but he don't. He don't tell me what to think or when I'll get smart. He just makes me lay down on a couch and talk. Miss Kenyon comes to see me at the college too. I told her nothing was happening. When I'm going when am I going to get smart? She said you got to be patient, Charlie. These things take time. It will happen so slowly you won't know it's happening. She said Bird told her I was coming along fine. I still think those races and those tests are stupid, and I think writing this progress report are stupid too.
Okay. March 16. I ate lunch with Bert at the college restaurant. They got all kinds of good food and I don't have to pay for it neither. I like to sit and watch the college boys and girls. They fool around sometimes, but mostly they talk about all kinds of things, just like the bakers do at Donner's Bakery. Bert says it's about art and politics and religion. I don't know all what those things are about, but I know religion is good. Mom used to tell me all about God and the things he done to make the world. She said I should always love God and pray to him. I don't remember how to pray to him, but I think mom used to make me pray to him a lot when I was a kid. That he should make me get better and not be sick. I don't remember how I was sick. I think it was about me not being smart. Anyway, Bird says if the experiment works, I will be able to understand all of those things the students are talking about. And I said, do you think I will be smart like them? And he laughed and said, those kids aren't smart. You will pass them as they're standing still. He introduced me to a lot of the students, and some of them look at me funny, like I don't belong in college. I almost forgot and started to tell them I was going to be very smart soon, like them, but Bert interrupted and he told them I was cleaning the psych department lab. Later, he explained to me there mustn't be any publicity. That means it's a secret. I don't really understand why. I got to keep it a secret. Bert says it in case they are failure. Professor Nimur don't want everybody to laugh, especially the people from the Wellbrook Foundation who gave him the money for the project. I said, I don't care if people laugh at me. Lots of people laugh at me and they are my friends and we have fun. Bert put his arm on my shoulder and said, it's not you Nomos worried about. He don't want people to laugh at him. I did not think people would laugh at Professor anymore because he's a scientist in a college. But Bird said no scientist is a great man to his colleagues, and his graduate students. Bird is a graduate student, and he is major psychology, like the name on the door to the lab. I did not know they had majors in college. I thought it was only in the army. Anyway, I hope I get smart soon because I want to learn everything there is in world, like the college boys know, all about art and politics and God.
I will read more than March 17 because it's only a few lines, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna get tired. Just take your breath and let me read, and let me know when you're ready to read again. Sounds good?
Okay, you want to read until March the 21st?
Yeah, I can probably read March 21st too, no worries. With whatever you'd like. You tell me when you're ready to read because I could see that you got out of breath. So, March 17. When I waked up this morning, right away, I thought I was gonna be smart, but I'm not. Every morning, I think I'm gonna be smart, but nothing happens. Maybe the experiment didn't work. Maybe I won't get smart, and I'll have to go live at the war in home. I hate the taste, and I hate the amazed, and I hate Algernon. I never knew before that I was dumber than a mouse. I don't feel like writing any more progress report. I forget things, and even when I write them in my notebook, sometimes I can't read my own writing, and it's really hard. Miss Kenyon says have patience, but I feel sick and tired, and I get headaches all the time. I want to go back to work in the bakery and not write progress progress report anymore. March 20. I'm going back to work at the bakery. Dr. Strauss told Professor Namer it was better. I should go back to work, but I still can't tell anyone what the operation was for, and I have to come to the lab for 2 hours every night after work for my test and keep writing these dumb reports. They are going to pay me every week, like for a part time job, because that was part of the arrangement they when they got to the money from the Welberg Foundation. I still don't know what that Welberg thing is. Miss Kenyon explained me, but I still don't get it. So if I didn't get smart, why are they paying me to write these dumb things? If they gonna pay me, I'll do it, but it's very hard to write. I'm glad I'm going back to work because I miss my job at the bakery and all my friends and all the fun we have. Dr. Strauss says I should keep a notebook in my poc- in my pocket for things I remember, and I don't have to do the progress report every day just when I think of something or something special happens. I told him nothing special ever happens to me, and it don't look like this special experiment is going to happen either. He says, don't get discouraged, Charlie, because it takes a long time and happens slow, and you can't notice it right away. He explained how it took a long time with Algernon before he got 3 times smarter than he was before. That's why Algernon beats me all the time in that amaze race, because he had that operation too. He's a special mouse, the first animal to stay smart so long after the operation. I didn't know he was a special mouse. That makes it different. I could probably do that amazed faster than a regular mouse. Maybe someday I'll beat Algernon. Boy, would that be something. Dr. Strauss says that so far Algernon looks like he might be smarter permanent, and he says that's a good sign because we both had the same kind of operation. Would you like to go on or should I go? I
It's
don't.
the 22nd.
We're on the 21st, but I can finish 21st. I don't mind.
Wait
I'm
a
on it.
second. I wanted to tell you something. Did you see the film Lawnmower Man? It was a similar story. There was a lawnmower man who became got an operation and became smart.
Hmm,
And then what was it? It was a thriller, I think. No, it just reminds me of the story. I haven't read the book.
of course. I
And
read March 21st, and then like that you don't have to, you know, hurry on searching for it. Because
I
it's.
have it. I
Oh, you
have it.
have it?
Don't worry. I have it. Of course, I have it.
Okay.
Okay, March 21st. We had a lot of fun at the bakery today. Joe Carp said he looked where Charlie had his operation. What did they do to Charlie? Put some brains in it. I was going to tell him about me getting smart, but I remembered Professor Nimmer said no. Then Frank Riley said, "What did you do, Charlie? Open a door the hard way." That made me laugh. They are my friends and they really like me. There is a lot of work to catch up. They didn't have anyone to clean out the place because that was my job. But they got a new boy, Ernie, to do the deliveries that I've always done. Mr. Donner said he decided not to hire for a while to give me a chance to rest and not work so hard. I told him I was all right and I can make my deliveries and clean up like I always done. But Mr. Donner says we will keep the boy. I said, "So what am I gonna do?" And Mr. Donner patted me on the shoulder and said, "Charlie, how old are you?" I told him, 32 years, going on 33 my next birthday. "And how long you been here?" he said. I told him I didn't know. He said, "You came here 17 years ago. Your Uncle Herman, God rest his soul, was my best friend. He brought you in here and he asked me to let you work here and look after you as best I would. And when he died 2 years later, and your mother had you committed to the Warren home, I got them to release you on outside work placement. 17 years been Charlie. And I want you to know that the bakery business is not so good, but like I always said, you got a job here for the rest of your life. So don't worry about me bringing in somebody to take your place. You will never have to go back to what Warren home. I aren't worried. Only what does he need Ernie for to deliver and work around here when I was always delivering the packages good. He says the boys needs money, Charlie, so I'm going to keep him on as apprentice to learn him to be a baker. You can be his assistant and help him out on deliveries when he needs it. I never was an assistant before. Ernie is very smart. but the other people in the bakery don't like him so much. They're all my good friends, and we have lots of jokes and laughs here. Sometimes somebody will say, "Hey, look at Frank, or Joe, or even Gimpy. He really pulled a Charlie Gordon that time." I don't know why they say it, but they always laugh. And I laugh too. This morning, Gimpy has the head baker and he has a bad foot. And he limps, he used my name when he shouted at Ernie because Ernie lost a birthday cake. He said, "Ernie, for God's sake, you're trying to be a Charlie Gordon?" I don't know why they said that. I never lost any packages. I asked Mr. Dorner if I could learn to be an apprentice baker like Ernie. I told him I could learn it if he gave me a chance. Mr. Dorner looked at me for a long time. Funny, because I guess I don't talk so much most of the time. And Frank heard me and he laughed and laughed until Mr. Donner told him to shut up and go tend to his own oven. Then Mr. Donner said to me, "There's lots of time for that, Charlie. A baker's work is very important and very complicated, and you shouldn't worry about things like that." I wish I could tell him and all other people about my real operation. I wish it would really work already so I could get smart like everybody else.
March 24th. Professor Nermer and Dr. Strauss came to my room tonight to see why I don't come into the lab like I am supposed to. I told them I don't want to race with Algernon no more. Professor Nermer said I don't have to do to for a while, but I should come anyway. He brought me a present, only it wasn't a present, but just for Lent. He said it was a teaching machine that work like a TV. It talks and makes picture, and I got to learn it on just before I got to sleep. I got to turn it on just before I go to sleep. I said, "You kidding? Why should I turn on a TV before I go to sleep?" But Professor Nemmer said, if I want to get smart, I got to do what he says. So I told him I didn't think I was going to get smart anyway. Then Dr. Strauss came over and put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Charlie, you don't know it yet, but you're getting smarter all the time. You won't notice it for a while, like you don't notice how the hour hand on a clock move. That's the way it is with the changes in you. They are happening so slow you can't tell, but we can follow it from the test and the way you act and talk and your progress report." He said, "Charlie, you've got to have faith in us and in yourself. We can't be sure it will be permanent, but we are confident that soon you are going to be a very intelligent man." I said, "Okay," and Professor Nemer showed me how to work with the TV that really wasn't a TV. I asked him, what did it do? First, he looked sore again because I asked him to explain me and he said I should just do what he told me. But Dr. Strauss said he should explain it to me because I was beginning to question authority. I don't know what that means, but Professor Nemer looked like he was going to bite his lip off. Then he explained me very slow that the machine did loads of things to my mind. Something it did just before I fall asleep, like teach me things when I'm very sleepy, and a little while after start to fall asleep. I still hear the talk even if I don't see the pictures anymore. Other things is at night it's supposed to make me have dreams and remember things that happened a long time ago when I was a very little kid. It's scary. Oh, yes, I forgot. I asked Professor Nemmer when I can go back to Miss Kenyon class at the adult center, and he said soon. Miss Kenyon will come to the college testing center to teach me special. I am glad about that. I didn't see her so much since the operation, but she is nice.
Yeah, no, there is March 25th.
Do you want to stop?
Ah,
Are you tired?
I'm falling asleep.
Oh, you're falling asleep. Okay, sorry. I'll,
Yes, I cannot concentrate.
okay, it's alright.
So sorry. No, I will definitely finish the book. If you want to go on, you can
Yeah, of course.
read it.
Yeah, of course.
Not a problem.
No worries.
Just we stopped March 25th. And
Well, to be honest, I think I'm gonna
yeah.
stop the stream here. It's a good time.
When was this book written?
Sorry.
No, I was wondering when was this book written?
Um, it was
Approximately.
written. That is a good question. Give me 1 second.
I'm trying to establish the dates.
Yeah, of course. It was written in 1966. Well,
From
published. Published,
66.
to be more precise.
Published in 26.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
No.
actually, here it's the short story written in 1958 and first published in the April
Mhm.
1959 issue of the magazine and fantasy and science fiction. It won the Hugo Award for Best Short Story in 1960.
I keep feeling that the Lawnmower Man is actually based. It's a film.
Mhm.
It's, I keep thinking that it's inspired by this book.
It is a very beautiful book. One of my favorite,
Yeah.
not my favorite, but one of them. You know, I find it
Yeah,
extremely relaxing.
it's a new, like it's totally new book for me. I did not even hear about it.
Well, perhaps we can finish it some other time if you like, or I'll just finish it by myself some other time. Either way, you know.
I will watch. I will listen to you finish it.
Okay. Well, good night, everybody. I hope you had a good evening.
Night.